We got another package, and this one is directly from China. So let's check it out. So today we're going to be checking out another 4K action camera. This one's from DBPower. It's got a touchscreen and a bunch of other cool stuff. This one is like brand new, like you can't even buy it on Amazon yet, so I got a preview model. I'm pretty excited. Let's take a look around the box and see what it says. So it has a 20 megapixel camera, which is pretty impressive for taking stills. It can shoot up to 4K 24 FPS. So that's not necessarily preferable, but it's definitely a good resolution and a good frame rate. It has up to 170 degrees field of view, a 64 gigabyte TF or flash card, or SD card, micro SD that is. I don't believe that's included. That would be sick if it was. It's probably just supports up to that. It also has Wi-Fi. It's water resistant or capable of being underwater in this housing up to 30 meters, which is pretty awesome, and it has a touchscreen. Moving to the back, it just gives us some more details, the different image resolutions it's able of taking photos in. It can take photos at 20 megapixels up to 5,120 by 3840 pixels, so that's pretty awesome. Video resolution, it can do 4K 24 FPS, 1080p at 60 and 30, 720p at up to 120, and VGA, which is 640p or 480p at up to 240 frames per second. It also has the default resolution, which is 1080p 60 for video. It records in H.264, so you're going to be able to get a lot of video out of it. And then, yeah, that's about it. The battery is 1200 milliamp hours, which should be really good for this. And on the back, it also has the QR codes for where you can download it. Over here on the side, it's the same thing. On the front, you get a little preview of it in its waterproof case, and it very nicely just slides off. So let's go ahead, let's move the keyboard forward, and let's take a look at what comes in the package. Alright, and so now we can go ahead and open this up. It looks like this slides out too, so a lot of really nice packaging in here. Really tight. That's a good thing. So if we slide this off, that comes off, and immediately we're greeted with the camera. This thing looks fantastic. It has, I believe, a 2.1 inch touchscreen. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And we've got these two boxes, so let's go ahead and see what's inside of them. So the first smaller box, we have some accessories. We've got a battery right here. This is the rechargeable lithium ion. We've got some zip ties and a little metal tie, along with some double-sided adhesive and a lens cleaning cloth. We've got a mini B USB cable for charging. Then we also have a camera strap, it appears, or a strap for like putting it around your body, which is cool. I'm going to go ahead and put this back over there. Then over here we have, additionally there's a manual in here. Might have to look through that, we'll see. But in the bigger box, I believe there's more accessories. Yep, there's a bunch of mounts. So we have some extension arms, different ways to mount it to like a helmet or to a bicycle. This one's a nice clamp one. This one's good for putting on your bike if you're going riding somewhere. It mounts like this, and then you can just have it face forward. Ones that change the direction. These ones you can screw on to tripods if you want to do time lapses. And this is another extension arm that changed direction. It's a little bit longer. So we got all those, and we've got the camera. I actually just noticed that the camera has a threaded insert on the bottom, so let's get it out of its shell, see if it needs to be charged, and we'll take a look at the physical body of the camera. So, pops open like any other GoPro. This is really tight. It's a good water seal. There we go. So, immediate impressions, this looks great. So first things first, let's take a look around the camera. On the front we have the lens here, which is a wide-angle lens. There's a little piece of plastic that protects it from being scratched. We'll take that off. Then we have this nice little band. I just think it looks cool. Nothing else really to it. It has really good weight to it too, which many other cameras don't. We have, I believe, the capture button on top. On the side here we have a power button, the mode, and I believe this is like a select button here. On the back we have the screen with another screen protector. So you can go ahead and take that off. A nice big screen. On the bottom and side we have, I believe this is the battery compartment. Yep, so there's one battery that comes inside of the camera and another one that you can install afterwards. So we're going to actually see if this one's charged in a moment. Let's see where the SD card goes in. Does it go in here? Don't believe so. It comes right here. So you go like that and your micro SD card goes in there. So let's first power this thing on, see if it's charged. It is. Alright, and so that is a beautiful bright display. That looks really, really good. So click this button to switch modes, click here to enter menu, click this to start recording. Alright, swipe left. Alright, so this is pretty impressive. This looks great. You can have it loop recordings, all sorts of different options. You can increase and decrease exposure manually, which is nice. I'd recommend doing that if you're shooting outside. They have motion detection, so you could use this as a security camera of sorts. They have the angle. You can go from 70 to 110 to 140. If you're looking for what's closest to human vision on here, 110 is about that. So we can just select that. Now, let's say we go back there. The distortion's much less. The viewing angles on this aren't the best, but I don't necessarily expect it to be. Let's go ahead and change modes. So this is picture mode here. This is options, right? So language, TV mode, set it to NTSC if you're in America, PAL for most of the rest of the world. I believe you can hook this up to TV over Wi-Fi, which is pretty cool. Microphone. There's all sorts of stuff in here. This is great levels of customization stuff that you can do with this. So we're going to go ahead. Can I zoom in? No. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab a micro SD card. We're going to pop it in there, and then we're going to get some test footage. So let's go ahead and do that. So right now we're going to be using 1080p 60 FPS. I'm just going to be going and longboarding up and down my driveway, and then we'll switch to 4K 24 FPS and 720p 120 FPS. So let's get going. Right now one of the things I'm looking to see, since it's so bright out, is how the camera actually handles exposing the sky and the ground at the same time. Alright, and so that was the test in 1080p 60 FPS. And so now we're moving on to the 4K 24 FPS test. Alright, and that was 4K at 24 FPS. Let's switch it up to 720p 120. Alright, and so last but not least, here's the 720p 120 FPS. Alright, so let's go review the footage, and hopefully it looks good. Alright, so you guys will have just seen the footage, and it looks pretty solid. The 1080p 60 FPS is gorgeous. It looks freaking fantastic. Much better than most action cameras I've seen and used. The 4K 24 FPS is really choppy. I don't know why. Maybe that'll be fixed with a firmware update. The 720p 120 FPS for some reason is super aliased. But once again, that might be something that could be fixed with future updates. However, still looks good, still usable. However, the 1080p 60 FPS is the way to go. It just looks fantastic. All in all, I think this camera is awesome. It's a good form factor. It looks great, works really well. The menu and the touchscreen and everything, super intuitive, and I definitely recommend you pick one up if you're in the market for a action camera. It's going to come in at a good price. It's going to be something I think you guys will like a lot. So if you guys liked this video, drop a like down below. If you didn't like it, drop a dislike. And if you really did, tell me why in a comment. Tell me what you'd like to see in a future video. And until next time, peace out.